The coffee pot trembled in Emma's hand. 3 men in the corner booth, eyes cold as winter, whispered something she shouldn't have heard. The moment he orders his usual black coffee, no sugar, we make our move. Emma froze. Her heart pounded in her chest. She knew exactly who they were talking about, Colt Reaper Daniels, president of the Iron Wolves Motorcycle Club, one of the most feared men in 3 counties. And right now, he was about to walk through the door of the Crossroads Diner, completely unaware that a carefully planned assassination was about to unfold. The tension was almost visible, like the static before a lightning strike. Emma had worked at the Crossroads for 3 years. She knew riders from regulars. She knew danger when she saw it. And yet, she had never faced anything like this. The bell above the diner door chimed, and 5 motorcycles rumbled into the lot. Colt Daniels strode inside with the quiet confidence of a man who had survived things most people couldn't imagine. His crew positioned themselves near entrances like soldiers, scanning the room with hawk-like precision. In that moment, Emma realized she had a choice. Do nothing, stay invisible, and hope Colt survived, or speak, risk everything, and possibly prevent a murder. Her hand shook as she poured coffee. Her instincts screamed, her mind raced. Then, without a second thought, she leaned close to Colt and whispered, "Don't talk." Time seemed to freeze. In one small instant, Emma's life changed forever, and the lives of everyone in that diner would never be the same again. The bell above the Crossroads Diner rang again as Emma refilled the sugar dispensers for the 3rd time that morning. Thursday mornings were usually quiet, but today was different. The air carried tension, sharp and biting, like the hum before a storm. 3 men sat in booth 9, the corner booth with clear views of both entrances. They hadn't worn club patches, which immediately set Emma's nerves on edge. In biker circles, unmarked leather cuts meant danger. A man hiding in plain sight, the youngest, probably 25, fiddled with his phone. The older one, built like a linebacker with a scorpion tattoo around his neck, never stopped scanning the diner. The gray-bearded man tapped his fork against his plate, a rhythm that made Emma's skin crawl. Jake, the cook, called over her shoulder. "Tix needs a warm-up." She forced herself to move toward the counter, coffee pot in hand, but her path took her close to booth 9. That's when she heard it. "The moment he orders black coffee, no sugar, we move. Colt always orders the same thing. The second he says it, we finish this." Her stomach dropped. Black coffee, no sugar. That was Colt Daniels. Colt Reaper Daniels. President of the Iron Wolves. Emma looked toward the parking lot, and 5 motorcycles rolled in, the leather-clad riders emblazoned with snarling wolves over crossed bones. Colt led them, silver in his beard catching the morning light, eyes sharp, cataloging everything in a single glance. Colt walked to his usual spot at the counter, nodding at familiar faces. Emma's gaze flicked back to booth 9, the 3 men went rigid. Their hands moved toward their jackets. Seconds away from violence, time slowed. Her heartbeat was deafening in her ears. Every instinct screamed to stay quiet, stay invisible. But she couldn't. Emma moved. Coffee pot in hand, a bright smile on her face. To everyone, she was simply doing her job. "Morning, Colt," she said. "The usual today?" He looked up. Dark, intelligent eyes measured her. "You know it, Emma," he said, reaching for his menu. She leaned close, just enough for her voice to be a whisper against his ear. "Don't talk." Colt froze. His hand paused mid-reach, eyes locking onto hers. For a heartbeat, the diner held its breath, then Colt slowly nodded. He would not say the trigger words. He lifted his coffee cup slightly, sipped, and scanned the room casually. The men in booth 9 faltered. Their plan crumbled. Emma stepped back, legs shaking. Somehow, impossibly, she had stopped a murder without anyone knowing. Except Colt. He knew. Later, after closing, the threat became clearer. Emma's phone buzzed. A text flashed, "We know who you are. We know where you live. This isn't over." Colt's demeanor shifted instantly. His men moved with silent precision. "Ghost, take her to the compound." "Now," Colt ordered. Emma had no time to protest. Her old life ended the moment she whispered those words. 3 days later, she stood in the main hall of the Iron Wolves compound. Safe houses, planning rooms, constant surveillance. The past 72 hours had been a blur. Colt spread maps across the desk. "Tomorrow night," he said, "we end this." The Demon's Run rally was perfect cover, 5,000 motorcycles, chaos masking their counterstrike. Emma, under Colt's protection, was bait. "What do you need me to do?" she asked. "Be yourself," he said. "Listen, watch, be my eyes in plain sight." The rally was alive with roaring engines. Emma moved through the crowd, blending in with bikers, leather and denim. Colt's hand on her shoulder, he murmured, "I can feel them watching." Ghost's voice crackled through her earpiece. "Southeast corner. Scorpion Neck just arrived." Emma positioned herself near the maintenance area, surrounded by parked Harleys. Beautiful machines, but not as dangerous as the men approaching her. Scorpion Neck came first, followed by the young man and graybeard. Their movements confident, but hesitation flickered across their faces. "Gentlemen," Colt's voice cut through the air like a blade, "I believe you wanted a conversation." The Iron Wolves emerged from the shadows, weapons drawn. The would-be killers froze. Within minutes, the threat was neutralized. Emma's courage and instincts had set the entire operation in motion. 2 weeks later, Emma returned to the Crossroads Diner. The place had changed. Iron Wolves were now a regular presence at the counter. Colt sat across from her, a rare smile on his face. "You stopped being a civilian the moment you whispered, 'Don't talk.'" "There's no going back," he said. Inside a small box, he revealed a silver medallion, the symbol of the Iron Wolves. "Your family now," he said. "Not by blood, but by choice. Protection, loyalty, discretion. You have a place here." Emma held it carefully. Her old life, cramped apartments, invisible days, was gone. She was visible. Important. Dangerous. Protected. To good instincts, Colt raised his coffee cup. Emma mirrored him. Their eyes met. They didn't need words. The highway hummed outside. Inside, a waitress, no longer just a waitress, sat with a man who commanded an army, planning a future that would be anything but ordinary. Emma had learned the most important lesson: once you were family forever. Whether that was a promise or a threat depended on how you chose to see it. She chose both. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Bike Diaries. We bring you stories proving heroism comes in all forms. Courage isn't measured by size or age. Sometimes the smallest person in the room has the biggest impact. Tell us in the comments, what would you have done in Emma's place?